Hi, good to see you. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm making it. I'm making it. We got a lot to dive into today. So,
Yeah, we do.
so
We do.
first of all, yesterday was like super intense.
hmm
Probably the most intense episode that we've had so far this season. But we're gonna dive into that in just a few minutes.
Okay.
But as far as just reality TV overall, you were introduced to the Basketball Wives fandom last season. Um, how would you say you're coping with like being in this new space of being a public figure? How are you enjoying it? Are there any pros and cons?
It is pros and cons to it. It's more cons, if anything, that you have to be prepared for. I just feel like with the pros, of course, all the fans. I love all the people, the fans that we get. They make me feel so good. And of course, the endorsement deals and all that
Of
good stuff.
course.
Okay, so. And just overall exposure, especially for our brands, that's a really good thing to be on the show. But cons, it's like, okay, in order to be on the show, you have to be in a group of girls that are like bullies and gangs, and they all take turns like torturing each other. So it's kind of hard to like weigh out the pros and cons. It's like, once you in it, you like, now I see why Drea didn't come back.
Oof, the shade of it all. So, we've gotten to know you in tidbits, but we haven't fully gotten to know who Noria Dorsey is, I feel like. We haven't really gotten a lot of scenes. Is there anything that you wish that they would show more of as far as your personal life?
Yes, my family, like my husband, my kids did filming with me. They didn't show any of that last season and this season. So, I don't know what they're doing and why, but I would love for them to showcase our family dynamic, like especially with me and my sister. Like
Yeah,
if y'all could see what was really going on in our household out there in LA, that's what the show really was. Like it was crazy.
yeah. So I know that everybody gets a chance to kind of show off their businesses, their brands, and things like that. What is your passion? What are you into? What's your thing that you're working towards?
Okay, so I was a hairstylist for over 10 years. I graduated from Paul Mitchell, so I've done hair for a very long time. I even done some magazine front cover shoots and stuff like that. So after doing hair for so long, I started to expand my brand. So during COVID, I ended up coming out with an organic hair care line that I'm still in the process of doing, and it's almost complete. I use all natural ingredients and stuff like that. And I was at home bored, and my little girl, I was trying to get her hair to grow in the back, and
Mhm.
I just started making stuff organically, and it just started growing. So all my friends and family were like, "Okay, you need to start selling this stuff." So that's what I really been working on really hard. And also, of course, me and my sister have Coconut Swim together. We work on that brand together. So we have, fitness wear, active wear, swimsuits and stuff like that. So, we're expanding the brand with that as well.
And we caught a glimpse of Malaysia wearing something last night, right?
Yes. And then also
Okay.
if you look in the clip, what's her name? DJ Dusty had on one of our one pieces, like the snake print one. She had that on.
Okay. Women supporting women. We love it.
Yes, yes.
So, as someone who is fairly new to reality TV, um, were you a fan of like reality TV before? Do you watch reality TV in your spare time? What are some of your
Oh
favorites?
yes, I was the biggest fan of Basketball Wives. Like, of
Yeah.
course, I knew a few of the ladies that's been on a few of the seasons before in the past, so I was always a big fan until I got on there. And baby, when you see people real true colors and natures, not the fake facade you see on the screen or what they couldn't edit out of, you get to see the real person and how they are.
So, is there anyone that you were excited to meet, or maybe just I don't want to use the word a fan of, but someone that you were fond of that you wanted to meet that you completely have changed your mind about them?
In a good way or a bad way?
Either.
Okay. Let's see. Malaysia. I already had previously knew Jen from a mutual friend and her best friends from Memphis. So I already knew Jen, and then Jackie, I've knew her from the industry.
Mhm.
But Malaysia, like, of course on TV, she comes off as a mean girl. She
Uh-huh.
has in the past, she has. But meeting her and seeing the dynamic amongst the ladies and how she moves that way for a reason. Like,
Right.
you got to be on guard and protect yourself. So I don't, I get her, but she's really sweet. She's really cool, but she don't play. Like, she will get in your ass and she don't care. She don't care.
Oh gosh. So reality TV wise, either last season or this season, have you watched the show and kind of had moments where you cringe? Is there any moments where you're like, oh, I hate this angle, or oh, I hate how I looked right here? Is there anything where you get like kind of cringy?
Actually, in my mind, ahead of time, like, oh my God, I hope I look good. And then when I get on, I'm like, damn, bitch. Okay. Like, you shock me sometimes. So, so far, so good.
Yeah.
I try not to watch the whole thing through most of the time because, when you watch it, you start seeing little slick disses and stuff like that. And I don't want to get caught up in all that.
Yeah.
So, sometimes just, pop in and see what's going on, see if I look good and pop back out.
Uh-huh. So last season there was a totally different cast. This season, there's a totally, there's a return of a lot of
Yes.
people from the past. How would you compare the dynamics from last season to now? Like what was your relationships, and how was it the energy last time
A
versus this
complete
time?
160, 180, whatever you want to call it, because baby, the stock has went down. Okay,
Okay.
the stock of the brand has went down, and I just feel like they should have kept it as it was last year, even if they wanted to bring back OG.
Hmm.
Like what we was dealing with, very difficult to work with, very, very.
And I remember, we chatted at the premiere party. I asked you about OG and like the
Mhm.
situation. You feel like if she continued on this season, do you feel as though she would have kind of been bunched into the drama that you're having with the other ladies, or do you feel as though where do you feel like she would stand this time around?
Well, I feel like, OG, she would have, of course, she would have enjoyed it. Of course, she would have sat back and enjoyed it. But at the same time, I know for a fact the kind of integrity she does have, I do feel like she wouldn't allow no bullying. She didn't allow that with
Yeah,
Cece. I feel like between her and Cece, it was the same situation, and she don't play about that. She's been bullied herself. I've been bullied. So when you've been bullied in life, you don't play. Like you're not gonna stand for it. You're not gonna sit there and watch somebody else get bullied. You're not gonna do it.
yeah.
Like the rest of them did last night. They stood there and sat there and watched people get bullied and did nothing.
So that is where we're going now, actually. So last night's episode,
hmm
I feel as though my jaw was on the floor just for the most of the time. I was just like
You think that was the
shocked.
most epic fight scene in Basketball Wives history?
It's up there
It's up there.
because I feel as though for me, it was Nia grabbing the glass and trying to break it across the table. Like, I haven't seen
I
that move in
mean,
a
she was
minute.
throwing stuff. Nia had to protect herself, so Nia did what she had to do.
So going into the trip, did you feel as though, or did you have any kind of inkling that you were going to be getting into it with the ladies? What was your relationship with the girls at that
Not
point?
at all. That's why it's like it's so fake and like turn on and turn off. It's like when they get together, it's like they put a battery in each other's back. But when they're like not together, they're like all cool. Like there's been plenty of times when me and Brooke had one-on-ones. Of course, they didn't showcase that. But me
Mm,
and her had a lot of one-on-ones, which my sister was not too fond of. But
okay.
but they didn't show that. And I just feel like it was just all bad.
So Nia has said basically from the start she kind of felt like Brooke had it out for her. And you're saying that you had one-on-ones with Brooke. Do you feel as though like the events of last night happened just because you are sisters with Nia and you're like kind of caught in the middle?
Pretty much. Like, as y'all can see this season, they have cut a lot of things. And most of this season, I haven't said much. And even last season, I really didn't say much, but, finish me if you're going to do
Yeah.
it.
Mhm.
So I just feel like everybody just hates me for no reason. Like, I ain't did nothing. I'm just taking up for my sister. That's what I'm supposed to do. And, like, of course, I call her out. She did something wrong. But that ain't for y'all to do. That's for me to do.
Right.
So
Makes
for y'all
sense.
to gang up on her, let me get her. Let me talk to her. Y'all don't need to do that. And then when y'all start going below the belt or being disrespectful, then I'm going to cross that line. I'm going to get in y'all ass. Like, y'all can't do that.
Blood is thicker than water.
Right. Right. I love that girl to death.
So walk me through how this happened. Like how I know that this stemmed from the baby shower food meme, which, has dragged on for maybe 3 episodes now. Um, how did we get to the point of drink throwing?
Well, I mean, where do I start? Like, we were filming for so long. They dragged that story for so long. That story was dragged for months. Okay. They narrowed it down in an hour's time, and we've been dealing with that for months. So you know how nerve wracking that could be. And I just feel like they just didn't like my sister. It was just that. It
Yeah.
was from the jump. Like, they would invite me places and wouldn't invite her from the jump, even before the out of wedlock baby shower food quote. Like, they were doing
Hmm.
that from the jump. Yes. And I feel like once Nia came around, people got intimidated or got insecurities and just started wanting to just like separate us two. And they tried to divide me and my sister, really.
Yeah.
And when me and my sister were apart, like even in the scene at the gender reveal, they didn't show that, but me and the girls actually got into it over something I had a private conversation with Brandy about.
Hmm.
Yeah, Brandy's a little messy. Um, yeah, so I didn't like that she took what I said and construed it and took it back to the ladies, and we started arguing. And it
Yeah.
was like they were just reaching for storylines and moments and stuff like that, and it was just tiresome. It was like y'all just done sit up here and waited like years and years and years and years and years. Y'all had plenty of time to get y'all story together, and y'all riding off us. Like, what's the point? Why you on here? Show us you.
So as far as last night, you mentioned bullying, you mentioned that people stood by. Who I don't want to ask who, but I want to ask who.
Oh, I
Who do
can
you
tell you.
feel like
I'm
should
very
have
realist. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. I feel
what
like Jackie, for one, being the oldest,
hmm
should have chimed in and should have
Yeah.
checked them. Malaysia, she did check them, but they talked all over her. Like, it was just a hot mess. Jen, she did try to take it from my sister in the beginning, but I felt like Jen just said fuck it, and she flipped over to the other side because, like, at this point, it's for them, and I don't want them to turn on me. And Jen is a flip flopper, so she gonna do what's in her best interest. So I just feel like they all just sat there. Of course, Angel can't do nothing. She
Yeah, just
pregnant,
pregnant,
so
right?
she's out of the equation. But British, she's over there with her little crew, so she ain't gonna say nothing. But as far as the OGs, I was very disappointed. Like, I was very disappointed.
So where does that leave you with the ladies? I know that we still have, the rest of the season to see what goes down, but
Mhm.
as far as right now, have you talked to any of the ladies since this episode since the episode aired last night?
Actually, somebody did reach out. We're not gonna talk about that.
Yes,
We
we
doing some stuff,
okay.
but yes, somebody did reach out, and they told me not to repeat that, so I'm not gonna tell who reached out.
Okay, for sure.
But other than that, no, none of the ladies have reached out.
All right. So last night,
Hmm.
Twitter was ablaze. My
Yes, and I
wig,
missed half of it because I was popping fireworks.
my wig is still somewhere out in outer space. I can't
Really?
find it. It
So
was a
tell me what
lot
went
going
down.
on.
Fill me in. Fill me in.
Now you know what was going on the timeline.
Hey, they banned me. They blocked me, so I don't know. I'm banned on
So,
all platforms, pretty much. Right now.
we saw a lot going down between Nia and Brooke, basically. It was a war of words, a lot of words that I can't say in front of my mother. But there was a lot of allegations. Brooke even brought up like some things as far as your marriage. Do you feel as though that is like a deal breaker for you as far as like we can't come back from that, or where do you stand with that?
I feel like this. For somebody to stoop as low to slander somebody that she has never even met a day in her life, and to slander my family, not only my sister, but my husband. That shows your character. You're a disgusting human being, an individual. My husband has worked very hard for his career and the person that he is, and he's a man of God. And he works with children. And for you to say the things that you said, you're gonna have to see me about that, baby.
Whew. Well, I
You're gonna have
guess,
to see me.
there we will have to figure out this reunion situation. So last season there wasn't a reunion. This
Hmm.
season we do. I haven't heard any words yet. My ear has been to the streets. Do you know, is there going to be a reunion? And if there is one, do you feel as though you're able to have dialogue with these ladies and kind of get to some kind of understanding?
I have heard the talks of a reunion, so I think there will be a reunion. As far as dialogue goes, that's for them. I mean, I'm down to have a conversation. As you can see, when I was yelling at Duffy, talk to me instead of her calling me like bitches. Yeah, people don't know how to use their words. So
Mhm.
I'm gonna need people to stop being so aggressive and start using their words and have a conversation, hash things out like grown women, not like
Yeah.
we're children. Like it's okay to beg to differ, argue, that's fine. But when y'all go as low as just keep pushing, you're just pressing, you just want to have a problem. I don't have a problem with you. I don't care less what you doing on the turntable. Okay? Do you, boo? Do you?
Listen, I don't even know where to go with this cast. There has been so much going on. It seems as though it's like the Dorsey sisters versus like
Everybody.
everybody. Do you
I just
guys?
feel like
Mhm.
like I told Neil last year, I felt like this. It was so much going on with the whole OG situation that she was a really big threat. And of course, us being new walking in, we weren't privy to what happened previously before.
Yeah.
All we could do was go off what we saw in front of us. So how I feel, it kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. Like, that whole situation last year was bullying, but this situation was like assault.
Yeah.
Like, for somebody to wait till my back was turned, I'm arguing with somebody else, and you come around and do something behind somebody's back when their guard is down, that's just a weak ass move. That's weak as fuck. And I don't respect you.
So with that physical situation happening, there's been so many rumors across the board that you and your sister are banned from the show. Do you want to clear that up for everybody?
Oh, okay. That is a lie. I have DMs from Angel that she leaked to a blog, going around telling all the blogs that we are banned. That is not true. She just mad in the heat of the moment that she got talked about for having a baby out of wedlock. That is all. So just like Brooke is going around slandering lies, people have to make up lies when they can't find nothing wrong with you.
Whew. So,
I ain't running around here spreading lies about y'all. Your lives is full of lies. So it's gonna work itself out on its own later anyway.
and that is something that is interesting to bring up because last night there was talk about someone faking a relationship for the show.
Hmm.
Do you know anything about that, or do
I
you want to
do.
speak on that?
Out of respect for those individuals, I will only touch on it briefly, but
Okay.
just know Brooke's ex, the reason why she was on the show, I know him very personally, and I know the relationship was fake. It was staged for the show. They had a 10-year gap age. She was way older than him. He was like in his early 20s. He wanted clout from TV and she wanted clout. So why not join forces? At that time, he had just got the woman that he's with pregnant while she was on the show with her. So, and he's still with that woman. So, and I know that woman very well. She's my really good girlfriend. So I know a lot about Brooke that I could spill, but I just didn't do that because, that's not me. I'm not that type of person.
Yeah.
Your character was playing for itself, and I knew you was filth when I saw you.
This is a lot more than I bargained for today.
Yeah.
um, so switching gears, like the Basketball Wives watch party, the premiere party. All you guys are together. There were smiles, laughs. I tried to get some little inside tea. I was like, hey, how's everybody doing? Are y'all good with each other? Da-da-da-da-da. Everything seemed good. You guys were all positive. Was that the first time you had seen Brooke and all the other ladies since your altercation?
Actually, no. We actually saw Duffy, linked up, sat down, had a conversation, hashed out stuff, talked about after the fight and everything. So no,
Hmm.
we've spoken to the ladies. The only person that I haven't spoken to, like in my face or whatnot, was probably Brandy and Brooke and
Gotcha.
British. Everybody else I have spoken to outside of the show and on the show.
So did you ladies get a chance to speak to each other at the watch party, or was
Yeah,
it just kind of like
yeah,
a
we spoke to each other. She better had came correct. Cause I mean, all you did all that squawking and wanted the extra 5 minutes, and you got your 5 minutes, so you happy now.
all right. So with all that we've kind of covered today, would you say you're on good terms with Jackie, Jennifer? Like I know you were mentioning that they didn't step in and really say anything. Where do you stand with those ladies?
I mean, I can understand. I just feel like have a conversation with me. Let me
Mhm.
know where your headspace was. Maybe you feel like, that was my fight to fight or whatever the case is. But just know if it was the opposite way around, I would have never allowed that to happen to them. Like, no. That's just the
Yeah.
type of person I am. Like, no.
All right. So one thing that people are definitely talking about on Twitter, they're saying, oh, these are the last two episodes with Nia and Noria. Can you confirm or deny, like, will we see you guys later on in the season? What can
Well,
we
to be
expect?
honest, I'm going to confirm that that is our last, I think our last episode, or next
Okay.
week will be our last episode.
Okay. And so from there, do you feel as though it was just kind of like a liability type of thing? Like, do you feel as though like people banded together to not film with you? What's the deal?
I feel like people band together not to film with me. Of course, it was already four of them against us already. And of course, they were looking for anything to complain about, reach about. They
Mhm.
had planned that whole thing. If you really take the sound off and you look at everybody's expression, what's going on around us arguing, you can see that it was pretty much set up.
Mhm.
Yeah, so I felt like it was all set up. It was part of their little game, and it worked for the moment. But everything always falls backwards. So, always falls back on you. So karma does come back around, and you will see that play out during the season.
So if that is your last episode, can we expect you back next season or
I mean, the only way I will come back, they're gonna have to do some adjustments. Like they're gonna have to straighten up. They're gonna have to straighten up, baby, because like I done laid a lot of my life on the line and, you know, my family. And for me to basically get a lot of my scenes cut, that's a disservice to the fans. Like, that's not fair to the fans because I have so many people ask, why don't we know you? Why don't we know more about you? Why
yeah,
don't we know more about the conversation you have with your sister? Why don't we know about your family? And it was like, if you're going to cut, just cut the whole thing. Like,
yeah.
what's the point?
Well, I see you're getting a lot of support in the comments. They're saying, no, we're not watching if you leave. Like, I see you're getting a
Oh,
lot of
thank you
support from the
guys.
fans.
Thank you.
Um, is there anything left that you would like to clear up as far as the show goes?
Um, like I want to clear up the whole OG thing. Like, I wasn't involved in that, but I got involved.
Yeah.
I got lumped into that. That was a situation between my sister and her. Of course, just like before, when people are going at my sister, I'm just naturally going to chime in. And when she said something to me, it was very disrespectful. And she had did a couple of things to me that was very disrespectful outside of cameras and on camera that they did not put in the show. So by that time, we were already heated. And when she said she was going to finish me, I told her finish me then. And everybody just got mad because I gave her the same energy she gave me.
So you feel as though, you really didn't even really have an issue with OG. It was more so you were just defending your sister.
Yeah, like I was just defending my sister. And for her to lie with those recordings, because I have some too. And I know for a fact she cut them and edited them. But of course, I wanted to keep my job. You
Yeah.
can't certain things and like go against your job.
Mhm.
And I think, with that situation, I just think she just took it too far. She took it too far, and the network was like, okay, we done.
So season 11, in a perfect world, we have Nia and Noria back. Who would you love to see as like the cast next season to join you to film?
You know what I would love? Okay, I would love a mixture of the OGs and some new girls. Like I
Okay.
like Jackie, Malaysia, Jen, and maybe one other OG or something like that to mix in with some newer girls, up and coming girls like Basketball Wives, because we the new generation. A lot of them don't get it. They don't even know how to say meme right. Like, come on, like they not getting it. They're not catching the post. Like they're not catching the humor. They're not catching
Yeah.
on. So I just feel like we need some younger girls, and these younger girls when they come in, they ain't gonna be able to handle it. They're not
Yeah.
gonna. So I think it should be a mixture. Some upcoming lit girls.
All right. Well, look, thank you so much for sitting down to chat with me
Thank,
today.
thank you for
We
having.
we appreciate you. We love you on this page. So everybody, make sure you guys are watching Basketball Wives. Unfortunately, next episode may be our last time seeing Noria for now.
For now.
But for now, we still got the reunion to look forward to. But yeah, make sure you guys are tuned in to Basketball Wives. Thank you guys for watching today.
Bye.
Bye.